For this exercise, I've created a trial site called News Trial, located at newstrial.bondwaresite.com. You can create your own free news trial site at bondware.com/free-trial and follow along. So I'm looking at the site here. Once logged in, you click the gear icon at the top right to go to the admin area. Once you get used to this, you can also append /admin to the end of the site name to get to the same place. Today we're going to go look at the pages, and we're going to edit the About Us page for the website and use the Layout Designer to add an image, some text, and other interactive elements. Our ContentEngine platform uses the same design tool to lay out pages, articles, and site design elements like headers, footers, and sidebars. We call this the Layout Designer. I want to show you a few things about the Layout Designer in terms of how it works. The first thing is the area on the left. We call it widgets or page elements. I guess it's the individual things here we call widgets, and you can drag those over into this area. So the widgets are on the left, and the design view, which is where you see what you're building up, is on the right. The widget's home icon is top left here, and I'll show you in a minute when you get down and you're changing like text and dragging widgets and configuring those over here, you can get pretty deep down in here. But if you need to ever get back to the top, you just click this home button and it'll bring you back to this view right here. Point out a couple other things while I'm here is the accordion type menu on the widgets here. So these are like simple HTML type of widgets that you might use on the site, and then this area here is ContentEngine specific widgets, so things like that ContentEngine knows about, like put a menu here and select a menu, or put an advertisement here in a particular location. And you can go on down and see the other kind of things you do. The section feeds for news type sites is a big thing, and that's how you populate like a list of the most recent articles onto a page. So that's pretty interesting. And then the last thing I'll point out is that you can minimize this whole widgets area here if you want to, so you can see the full design area and how that looks. So now we're gonna start with the design view on the right and work through how you populate that with content. First of all, I'll just point out that this is what is called a WYSIWYG format. That stands for what you see is what you get, and meaning that as you configure it, you're seeing in real time what the end user on the website that comes to your website is going to be seeing. And this is an example of what's called a no-code configuration type of tool. I guess in some ways it's like Word or PowerPoint in how that works. But let's just step through it and start adding some simple things to this page. So the first thing, remember what we were doing? We were looking at a list of pages, and we chose the about page. And now we need to make that look like an about page. So the first thing we might be inclined to do is to drag a heading on there, and then change that heading to be the name of the page. So this is about the about page. And if we wanted to change the size of that text, we could do that. I'm just going to leave it H1 right now. So that's how you can put a heading on a page. And now we might want to put some text to go along with that. So how would we do that? Well, go back to the widget home, choose a different kind of thing, drag it over here. In this case, some text, and we start talking about our business. This is our hometown news site for breaking news of importance to the community. And that's how easy it is. Now, you noticed I was typing over here, so for like simple text, it's going to let you do that. But if you want to get into like configuring specific things, like if I wanted to highlight breaking news here, make that bold, then you need to come over here and use the kind of the full widget to go along with that. There's other things down here, like you can put margin around things. So if I wanted to start putting some margin around that, then you can see how I can do that. It's all pretty straightforward. Anybody that's used Word or PowerPoint, this shouldn't be that alien to it. You can also do like colors and styling and those kind of things here. You can put a background behind all this if you wanted to, even an image. Put a border on it. And then there's some advanced pieces down here that most of the time you don't even have to worry about. But if you get into maintaining a site, eventually you might end up working with our support people to change something like that. So now we've got a about page, we've got a heading, we've got some text. Let's say we wanted to add like an image to that was, friendly and inviting. So how would we do that? Remember, we go back to the widget home. This time we're looking for an image, and we just drag that into place here. And you notice, having dragged that into place, we can start changing the attributes on that. And so I'm going to say browse, and what it's going to do is it's going to browse through the media library, which is, for this website, you can upload all of your images into an area called the media library. In fact, I can upload more just from my computer here if I want to. Just drag them into this area here to upload. And then, so I can just choose one of those and then place it on the page and then start defining how that's going to look. So if I wanted to say this is going to be 200 by 300 max, and I want that to center up, then you start to see how that can work. So let's see, I don't know. Let's put it back to the left. Let's put a little bit of margin to it, so it's got a little nice spacing. And then it's starting to look like an about page. You can do other things like on images. You can add captions. Once you start working with this, you'll see that it's pretty straightforward for laying out HTML type things. So I'm going to point out a few more things about what we've done here. So far we've drug widgets over here and just laid out a few things in an area. But there's a lot more going on in this area over to the right here, the design view. Again, it's called a WYSIWYG format, and I want to point out some color coding that's going on this page. You see the green across the top here. If I roll down here in this area, I see blue color coding, and then down here, a number of things that have this red color coding, and when I roll over the green, it puts a green line around everything that it touches. Same for the blue, you'll see that, and then the red also. So what does all that mean? So there is a meaning to the color code. The green means rows, so you're like laying out rows, and then the blue is columns. So let's say, for whatever reason, so right now we have one row, we can see here, we have one column on that row, and then we have a number of these widgets that are laid out on here, and depending on how much room you have, those things will stack or flow around on the page. But let's just say that, all of a sudden we start to think, well, this would look better if I put some text off to the right of this image. So how would I do that? The easiest way to do that is so this is a column. Remember, we've got a row, it's got one column. But now, what if it had, this is the duplicate button, what if it had two columns? And then I click that, and then it just put another one right beside it. So now this is a row with two columns. And if all I wanted here was some text, then I could just get rid of this heading, could get rid of this image, and now I've got some text here that I could change to say something else, some other text. And if I wanted to define how that's going to lay out, that's pretty easy. So I can come in here, I can say that's going to center up. So I can do that on the individual text. Or if I wanted to kind of do it at the column level, then I'd come in here and say it's going to vertically align in the middle, it's going to horizontally align in the center. And so, these are all kind of layout things you can do in this layout designer. So again, the point is you've got rows that are color coded in green. These are these things that let you change the rows, or we call them handles. So green handles control rows, blue handles control columns, and red handles control widgets. So if I want to come back and change a widget like the text on this about thing, I can either click in there, or I can hit the pencil on this, and then I can start changing the text and whatever I want to do. So these things are arranged in kind of like those nesting dolls, the Russian nesting dolls, and that's about it. With that. There's a little more to learn with each of the widgets, but that's the basic ideal about laying out pages, and you can just keep adding rows as you need to, and dragging more widgets onto them to create a fully formed page. And again, for example, just to show you one more example, like if I wanted to put the Contact Us web form right here, then I could do that, and I just need to choose that. It's already chosen for us in this case, but now you see that on this About page, we can go ahead and drop in a Contact Us form. And if, for example, that feels a little scrunched up, say, then I can go back up here, put in a spacer. I'll show you what that looks like. So you can put in a spacer, and then you can kind of size that up to give you as much space as you want between elements as you need to. All right. Well, now you've Now you've seen how to lay out a page using the Layout Designer, and it might occur to you, well, how do I save that? How do I make that permanent? And the way that you do that is back over here on the widgets panel at the bottom. You'll see some kind of colored icon type things going on. First one of these is save, and so I can say save this work that I've done. Another thing you can do is save and preview, so that's going to save it and then let you go look at that page on the front end like an end user would. This is going to save and exit, so it'll save it and then take you back to wherever you were. This one is a little different in that it will save and then take you to some kind of metadata about the page where you can do SEO optimization, that sort of thing. And then if you've if you've really just messed up the page, or you don't want to save what you've done, then you click this red stop button and just cancel all the changes. So that's it then. Congratulations, and now you know how to use the Layout Designer to create a web page. You can use the exact same tool to lay out other areas around the site, including the header, the footer, the sidebar, and advanced articles if you get to that point. And that's it then. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll be doing more for you soon.